and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news show on the channel. How are we all doing today, guys? It is a Monday evening, but it's the last day of nice weather in the UK if you live where I live, because it's going to get crap again tomorrow. But I tell you what's crap, Manchester United, because we are bloody crap. And I tell you what's crap about Manchester United, TikTok. I do TikToks, but they still haven't decided on their next manager, apparently. Some sources saying they have, some sources saying they haven't. What is the situation on Enrique, who's literally been linked to all of a sudden last night? Well, we have been linked to him for a while, but properly linked to him last night. Pochettino interview. What's happened? What's the facts? Ten Hag. So we're discussing Poch, Ten Hag. I'm going to give you all the latest on that. And also, Fabrizio Romano was on the United Stand YouTube channel today, and he did a really good interview with some really informing information, because I think when you've got a lot of journalists maybe clickbaiting Manchester United fans and all of that, it's very good to have someone like Fabrizio Romano who you know is legit. Sometimes he says things where you're like, well, that's an obvious statement, Romano. But, you know, you've got a good journalist like Fabrizio Romano to clear some lines up. And there's been reports about a Pochettino interview. Now, what I'm going to say about the Pochettino interview, and what I'm going to say is Pochettino can have like talks, but if Pochettino has an official interview with Manchester United, I think that is Poch. Because PSG have to let Pochettino actually have a meeting with us and let them have an interview. And if PSG actually let Poch have a meeting and interview with us, that means PSG are willing to get rid of Poch. And that means we might have to pay a compensation fee. And if Manchester United don't have to pay a compensation fee for Poch, and if Poch becomes the cheaper, easier option than Ten Hag, we will get Poch. Now, a reporter came out today, and it was basically saying the sport people at Man United want Ten Hag, but the bankers want Poch. And unfortunately, the people with more power are the bankers, the owners, the finances, and all of that. But what exactly are we going to be talking about in today's show? There's Harry Kane links, Rashford, Shaw, and Bruno getting a new contract. Ten Hag still the favourite. Pochettino interview, Luis Enrique. There's a big story on Luis Enrique to United. And Manchester United can't do deals with the players they want in the summer until they know their next manager. Now, first of all, what is coming out from the really reliable sources is that Manchester United's next manager decision isn't imminent, and they're delaying the choice of their next manager. And what I want to say is, Man United, are you thick? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Oh yeah, we know the board's thick, stupid, dumb. Well, what I'm going to say is, if United, you know, the problem is, because we don't know our next manager, it's delaying what we can do in the summer. United are not efficient in the summer, so we need to plan early. But we can't plan early because we keep delaying our next manager. So delaying our next manager is also delaying our summer plans when we need a rebuild and a restructure. I don't know why we're delaying our manager when Erik ten Hag is available, wants us, and will happily take the job right now if we offered him a job. What are you doing, Manchester United? Get to work. And just says Enrique is a total smokescreen delay tactic. Why would we wait for a gaffer unavailable until next winter? Exactly. Man United have been linked to Luis Enrique. I will get into it, but I agree with Andrew. I think it's absolute bullshit. I think that I generally believe. Now, I'm going to get into the news because some sources and some inside sources saying that it will be Ten Hag, but I'm going to get into the news. Okay, but what I will say is people ask me, Alice, is it Ten Hag, is it Poch, is it Enrique? Who is going to be the next Man United manager? And I say probably Sean Dyche, you know that. Honestly, if we do get Sean Dyche, I'd be fuming. But on a real note, my heart says it's going to be Ten Hag. I say, look, all the reliable journalists say that Ten Hag seems more likely. There's a lot more surrounding Ten Hag to Manchester United than Poch to United. My heart says that United are going to get Ten Hag in the summer. I think it's what the fans want. It's what Rangnick wants. We know that all the footballing people at Man United want Ten Hag. Rangnick wants Ten Hag. The fans want Ten Hag. We know that Ten Hag wants United. We know that United are impressed with Ten Hag. And we know that the Ten Hag deal is really easy to do. And my heart says that United are going to get Ten Hag. You know, Ten Hag is literally like, we can get Ten Hag if we want Ten Hag. Like, all we've got to do to get Ten Hag is United to offer him a deal. And my heart says, well, but yeah, my heart feels like we're going to get Ten Hag. My heart feels like Ten Hag's going to be the next manager. A lot of inside sources and ITK accounts, which, you know, I choose to believe when I want to believe them, but not the most reliable sources, also say, you know, Ten Hag is the one we want. And like, yeah, my heart says we are going to get Ten Hag. I just think, how can we bottle this Ten Hag deal when Ten Hag wants us? Like, Ten Hag is sitting here waiting for that Man United job. Like, waiting for it. He's had an impressive interview. He's what the fans want. He's what Rangnick wants. He's what the footballing people at Manchester United want. So my heart says yes. United are going to go out there and they're going to get Erik ten Hag. But my head says, this is Manchester United, Alice. This is Manchester United. You know Manchester United. You know the disappointment. You know they don't put what the fans want first. You know they don't put what's best for the football club's performance on the pitch first. United put money first. And Pochettino, you know, is what the bankers want at the club, because they know he can get top four in a minimal budget, and that is all that the Glazers want at Manchester United. They don't want to win trophies. They want to be fourth and not spend any money. And my head says, although my heart believes we're getting Ten Hag, and I believe there's a lot of reliable journalists saying that Ten Hag's more likely, my head says United will go for Poch. This Luis Enrique news, this delaying, when we can get I worry now. I worry now, because even though my heart says we can get Ten Hag, I worry now, because we could get Ten Hag this week, and surely United should be wrapping up their next manager ASAP. Because when we need players to know our next manager, so we know if Pogba's going to sign a new deal, we can get Chouamini, if we can get this player. The players that want to come to United don't want to come until they know our next manager. And it's so stupid that we're not getting our next manager. And I'm like, if we, for the last week, we've been able to get Ten Hag. Ten Hag's interviewed. Ten Hag is desperate to come. Ajax will let Ten Hag come. The fans want Ten Hag. United have been able to get Ten Hag for a week, and they haven't done anything on it. They've not made a single move towards Ten Hag. They've just interviewed and went, cool, wait, and delayed. If Ten Hag was the man United really wanted, they would have been, boom, let's slap that up before competition comes in. And I feel like we just interviewed Ten Hag to please some fans, and it's like they're really waiting for Poch. I feel like my head says this club is just really waiting for Poch, because, we need our next manager imminent. We need to plan for the summer. But United just ignoring Ten Hag when he is there, when he's impressive, when he's what we want. And it's like, I feel like Manchester United are almost waiting for Pochettino. I do have this feeling, my head says, Poch could be our next manager. And I like Poch. He's a decent manager, but when Ten Hag is there and will take the job, I don't understand why we would go for Poch. And it's because Arnold and Woodward want Poch. All the footballing people want Ten Hag. The players, Arnold and Woodward, want Poch. The fact that the players want Poch makes me not want Poch, because the players don't deserve to choose our next manager. And, I just think Erik ten Hag has said to United that he doesn't want crazy budgets. He doesn't want crazy wages. He wants to, rebuild United, implement youth. It's not about money for him. It's about success. Ten Hag, you don't have to back Ten Hag massively. You're going to have to back Ten Hag for the first 2 seasons massively, because we need a complete rebuild of the squad. But Ten Hag is all about implementing youth players. Ten Hag has said to Manchester United, it's not about the wages. It's not about the money for him. He wants success on the pitch. But the Glazers, they want a little puppet they can control that is focused on making money rather than pitch success. And Pochettino under Levy or Daniel Levy, he was just that puppet. He got him top 4, got him that money in. And, Daniel Levy threw Poch under the bus. And it's like the Glazers know that Poch was okay at Spurs. Poch was successful at Spurs after being thrown under the bus. Whereas Ten Hag, he's been very successful. But a lot of Ten Hag's success is due to the good structure of Ajax in the backing and how he works closely with the board. And I know my heart says I think it will be Ten Hag, and I am going to get into what's been said today, and a lot of reliable journalists say that Ten Hag is still leading the race. My head goes, United are going for Poch, because I just think this Luis Enrique story is United delaying it, trying to distract us from the fact that we're delaying Ten Hag, the fact that we're not jumping on Ten Hag, the fact that we're not stooping to get that deal done, and it's been a week since Ten Hag's interview, puts a little bit of fear into me, and I go, this is classic United. This is absolutely classic Man United, just delaying it just so they can get Poch. But look, Fabrizio Romano went on the United stand today and said some interesting things. There has been reports of a Pochettino interview, which I'm going to get into today. Wayne Rooney's also spoken about becoming Manchester United manager, spoke about Rashford's poor form. Louis van Gaal actually said that Erik ten Hag should join a football club, not a commercial club, and Man United is a commercial club. Louis van Gaal went out and said that, and I said, look, I love Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal, you're spot on, but shut the fuck up, please. You're spot on, Louis, but just shush. Don't tell Ten Hag that. I mean, Ten Hag's not stupid, but I can't believe Ten Hag wants the Man United job. We are a commercial club. I can't believe Ten Hag even wants this job, but he does. Now, everybody, make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe down below. Sadek says he's also worried that we may buy Kane and Rice. I will get into the Harry Kane and Rice news later on in the video. We do overpay for English players. I don't think we're going to get Kane. I don't think we're going to get Rice. I think there's too many key positions. I don't think United can afford to spend 100 million on one position. I think with Rangnick in the consultancy role, he might not let that happen. And as Fabrizio Romano said, and as Jay said in the chat, Harry Kane to Manchester United is very, very unlikely. Kane to United is unlikely, and Romano said that. I don't think we'll get Kane. I don't know what striker we're going to get, and this is the problem. as Romano said, United want a CDM, they want a striker, but they can't plan which one they're going to go through because they haven't got a new manager, but they're delaying who the new manager is. So it's like, well, you need to plan for the summer because you're awful in the summer anyway, but imagine having a summer without planning, but you don't know who the next manager is. And I think United are mudded. We are mudded. If we keep delaying and delaying and delaying so we can get Poch, then we have less time to think of a summer plan. Rangnick doesn't want to work with Poch. Rangnick has a vision, a modern vision, to modernise the football club and work with Ten Hag. And, you know, plan the transfers. Tchouaméni, brilliant player. We should be all over him. But we can't do much. Tchouaméni likes United. He likes our tweets on Twitter. We can't do anything to our next manager. We can do things, but United won't do anything till the next manager, and they'll use that as an excuse to not be busy. And my head tells me, would it just be classic Man United to actually just wait until like the end of the summer to get a manager and use an excuse for not buying anyone in the summer and just leave us out to dry for another season? I mean, that would be classic Manchester United as well. Andrew says that we are lucky most other big clubs do not need managerial positions. Exactly, Andrew. There's PSG, there's Real Madrid, as you said, but if Man City and Liverpool were looking for a manager right now, if Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, any good, big, ambitious club was in Manchester United's situation right now, Ten Hag would already be their manager. But let me get into the news because I've just blabbered for 12 minutes. Andy Mitten, a very, very good journalist, has said that Manchester United have spoken to 3 managers about the job. We've spoken to Ten Hag, we've spoken to Poch, we've spoken to Luis Enrique about the manager job. That's come out as well. Samuel Luckhurst had said that Manchester United are not expecting anything imminent concerning their managerial situation. So Samuel Luckhurst gets inside information from Manchester United itself and said that the next manager is not an imminent situation. Why are we delaying it? We literally, the plan was to get our next manager in this break. United are delaying it, probably because they're going for Pochettino. Santi _JFM on Twitter, a journalist as well, had said that Mauricio Pochettino was recently interviewed by Manchester United, who are looking for a coach next season, and that Poch is one of the favourites with Ten Hag, but no decision has been taken yet. It's come out that Poch has been interviewed by Manchester United, according to the Spanish source, and he said from English sources close to Manchester United, a board meeting has taken place between Pochettino and Manchester United, coming out from Spanish journalists. Now, Fabrizio Romano, the Tier 1 journalist, I always say, guys, and listen to me here, I always say when it comes to United, when it comes to United news, when it comes to United transfers, let's listen to David Ornstein, let's listen to Laurie Whitwell, let's listen to Simon Stone, and let's listen to Fabrizio Romano. They're the ones you can listen to because you know they're like Tier 1 reliable. And, you know, so what Romano said, and Romano went on the United Stand YouTube channel, and he said that Manchester United are in the final stages of conversations with Poch and Ten Hag and will soon make a final decision. Now, we'll get into the Luis Enrique news, but the fact that Fabrizio Romano has only spoken about United being in talks with Poch and Ten Hag makes me go back to Andrew's comment earlier in the video about Luis Enrique purely being a delay tactic and United not seriously in for Luis Enrique. Now, Romano says that we are in the final stages of talks with Poch and Ten Hag, and we just know it's a race between Poch and Ten Hag, as Romano said. Fabrizio Romano also said that it is true that other clubs are exploring the possibility of appointing Ten Hag as their manager, but nothing is advanced or close to being agreed. The first thing I think is no other clubs are looking at Poch, but other clubs are looking at Ten Hag, and other clubs make better decisions than Man United, and they would be taking Ten Hag over Poch. So why is it even a debate between Ten Hag and Poch? Why aren't we just going for Ten Hag? Fabrizio Romano also said that Manchester United are in a very good position right now. It is time to complete the process. Ten Hag wants to have an answer from Manchester United as soon as possible, and he wants to understand the details of the project. Romano saying United are in a very, very good position to sign Ten Hag, but Ten Hag wants an answer from Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Ten Hag's interview with Manchester United last week, and he said during Ten Hag's interview with Manchester United, he wanted to understand the budget, the project, and what kind of idea United wanted to develop at United in the coming years. Now, that's brilliant. Ten Hag has literally gone to United. Ten Hag's had an interview with Manchester United, and he's basically said to United, he wants to learn about the plan. He wants to rebuild the club. It's not about money. It's about success. He wants to know the club's vision, what they want to do. Ten Hag is United didn't get Conte. Conte went to Spurs and not United because United said they didn't want a short-term manager. For me, Ten Hag is a long-term manager. The way that Ten Hag has conducted himself in this interview with Manchester United, the things that Ten Hag has said, suggest that Erik Ten Hag would be a long-term manager. Now, we know Ralph Rangnick got the consultancy role because he was interviewing United as much as United was interviewing them. We know that Erik Ten Hag was interviewing United. We know that Conte didn't get the Manchester United job because we wanted because we wanted someone long term. Ten Hag has expressed that he wants to be here long term. He wants a long term plan, implement youth. It's not about giving him wages. And Ten Hag also said to Manchester United, I don't care about how much you pay me to be manager. I want to be manager. You know, which is unbelievable that we still haven't gone in for Ten Hag. Fabrizio Romano also came out and said that Erik Ten Hag is attracted by Manchester United and he wants to understand how much United want him, but the timing will be an important factor in the process. Romano has confirmed Ten Hag wants United, basically. We know Ten Hag wants United job. If United offer Ten Hag a job, we know who will accept it right now. But if United wait 3 weeks to offer Ten Hag a job and he's just been offered a better job by City, PSG, Real Madrid, we might be in trouble. And this, again, is why I don't understand why United don't just go out there and give Ten Hag this job, because he's interested in the job, and Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it. You know, Erik Ten Hag likes United, is attracted by United, but the timing is an important process. You know, Ten Hag doesn't want to wait 2 months for an answer from Man United. Ten Hag, it's been a week and Ten Hag's getting annoyed. He hasn't had an answer from Man United. He doesn't want to wait a month. You know, if Ten Hag waits a month, he might just go F off United. Well, we could actually bottle this. Fabrizio Romano also said that I can tell you that loads of players are asking around and player agents are asking around who is going to be the next Manchester United manager, because it's very, very important for maybe players that want to renew contracts at Manchester United, but players that are going to come into Manchester United. It's very, very important that they know who the next manager is. And you know, United can't plan anything realistically in the summer until we know who the next manager is, because it's harder to get players when we can't tell them who the manager is going to be. It's harder to get players when Ten Hag might not want half the players you buy in the summer, with POCH might not want half the players you buy in the summer. And, you know, I just think, as I know I'm repeating myself, but it doesn't make much sense right now. United do not make much sense at the moment, like, at all. Ten Hag is available. Ten Hag wants the job. The fans want Ten Hag. RANGNICK wants Ten Hag. All the sporting people at Manchester United, this was from the Manchester Evening News, want Ten Hag. Everybody wants Ten Hag, but the Glazers and a couple of the bankers on the board. Well, like 90% of the people want Ten Hag, and 90% of the fans want Ten Hag. And Ten Hag is available, and Ten Hag wants the job. And Ten Hag had his interview a week ago, and Ten Hag had an impressive interview a week ago. And Ten Hag is sitting there going, I can't believe I've still not been offered the job. And the only reason Man United have not gone out there and offered Ten Hag a job is because of one man, Mauricio Pochettino. United know that PSG could sack Pochettino. And Ten Hag is the favourite. And you know what? It's a 50-50 between Ten Hag and Poch. But Ten Hag is the favourite right now because he's cheaper and easier to get. If United want Poch, they've got to play compensation. They've got to go through troubles with PSG. And it's almost like United think that Poch could be sacked, and that they're almost waiting for Poch to be sacked and waiting for PSG to relieve Poch so they can swoop in and they can get Poch on a cheap. That's generally what I believe Man United are doing. Because I think, you know, all the top clubs are going to want Ten Hag. Any clubs that are serious and they could be losing their manager in the next year is going to go and speak to Ten Hag. Other clubs have already spoken to Ten Hag. He's like the most wanted manager in Europe. You know, we're lucky that big clubs aren't looking for a manager right now because we'd have been gone. Like, everyone wants Ten Hag and he is there. We can get him. He wants us. He'll say yes. And we're just waiting and we're delaying and we're delaying. And we're delaying it because it's almost like we're waiting for Poch. It's like we're delaying Ten Hag because we're waiting for Poch. And I just think it's this idiocy. It's absolute idiocy. And the fact that United apparently want to get their new manager in ASAP so they can plan for the summer is a load of rubbish. United do not care about the summer. United will plan last minute for the summer. They don't care. United just think, how can we spend as little as possible in the summer? That's all United are thinking about. How can we spend as little as possible this summer? United cannot get their next signing in, their signings until they know their manager, realistically. However, I wouldn't put it past Man United to offer out loads of new contracts, buying a load of players, and then bring in a manager, and the manager doesn't want any of the players they just brought or given contracts to. But United are saying they can't plan for the summer because they don't know who their next manager is going to be, despite the fact that they could literally have chosen their next manager a month ago. They could have literally had their next manager deal done. If they just offered Ten Hag contract, it could be Ten Hag done and they could plan for the summer. United are absolutely contradicting themselves at the moment. Well, we can't plan for the summer. We want a CDM, we want a striker, but we don't know who we want because we don't know who the next manager is, despite us having months, absolutely months, to get a next manager in. We've got Ten Hag there available, wanting the job, and we're just like, you know what, he had his interview a week ago, but let's just wait. Let's just wait. How long are we going to wait to choose our manager? Because this is ruining our summer plans. And also, the longer we wait, if we do want Ten Hag, he might just tell us to F off because he might get better jobs coming in. You know, Andrew said that Ten Hag will not even require a huge budget. He will improve the play, develop the youth with a few smart signings. And yeah, I said this earlier. Ten Hag, long term, actually will save the Glazers more money than Poch. Because if you give Ten Hag the full backing, if you prioritise football over finance for a good season or two, you prioritise football over commercial success for a couple seasons, and back Ten Hag, that means later down the line we'll spend less money. So we might have to spend more money in the next 3 years, but over a 10-year period we'll probably spend less money. Then manager comes in, not back, failed, compensation. Next manager comes in, rebuild, not back, failed. United spent the second most money in football in the last 10 years. Only Man City have spent more money than United in the last 10 years. Have United been the second most successful club in football in the last 10 years? No. We've probably not even been in the top 10 for success in the last 10 years globally, but we spent the second most amount of money. And that is because we buy a manager, we don't listen to the manager, we don't buy and sell who the manager wants gone and in. Because the manager fails, we have to pay compensation, then we have to have another rebuild because another manager has a different system. The cycle of Man United is get a manager in, throw the manager under the bus, don't sell certain players, hand out contracts without the manager wanting to give them those players contracts, buy these players that the manager's not that interested in buying. You know, all of a sudden the manager fails because you haven't backed him or supported him right. You bring another manager in, but the other manager is very different to the last manager, so half the players don't work. So you've got to rebuild. So then you've got to spend a load of money, and then the players are failing, so it's hard to get rid because you've given them high wages. You've got to pay manager compensation, and we have this cycle at Manchester United where we're just spending loads and loads and loads and loads of money, but the Glazers are all thinking about saving money. But what the Glazers don't realise, because they're absolute idiots, is the fact that they're prioritising commercial success over, you know, football success on the pitch is actually costing them more money long term, because every rebuild and every new manager is more money. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson didn't require that much money because he was backed in his first couple of seasons, so he actually had a core of his squad. So every transfer window, Sir Alex Ferguson would only need 1 or 2 positions because he already had that core brought for, and he would just replace it one by one rather than having a full transfer window rebuild. Sir Alex didn't need a full rebuild in the transfer window. He just needed your player here and there. And that's why the Glazers under Sir Alex were loving it. Winning titles, winning trophies, not spending much money. And to get back to that position, you need to back Ten Hag for 3 or 4 transfer winners, let him build a solid squad. And then the next couple of windows, he might not need that much money. Like, look at Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. They spent a lot of money in Jurgen Klopp's first couple of years. And then at the moment, they get 1 or 2 marquee signings a summer, and they don't really spend more than 100 million each year. Liverpool, they barely brought anyone, not last transfer window, but the transfer window before that. And long term, Liverpool have saved so much money in the last 10 years because they thought for 3 years they're gonna spend a lot of money, they're gonna back their manager. But long term, they spend less money. And I just think if we would run like a proper club, if we just fully backed Ten Hag for like 3 seasons, fully backed him, I guarantee you in 10 years, we wouldn't spend as much money as we would doing rebuild. Because this is what our 3rd, our 4th rebuild. And I just think, look at Liverpool, look at City, look at the success. I can't say the word. Look at Liverpool, look at Manchester City, and absolutely look at the success of Liverpool and Manchester City, and do what they've done. Get an elite manager in, and that will be Ten Hag. Liverpool and City will be getting Ten Hag, not Poch. Back him. Even if he fails in his 3rd season, back him. Bring in who he wants. Get rid of the players he's not going to play. That's only going to cause dressing room issues. Let Ralph Rangnick change the structure of the board. Let's bring in a good sporting director. Let's get rid of bankers doing footballing roles and get footballing people that have experience at other clubs doing footballing roles. Let's not be giving Darren Fletcher a role as highest technical director just because he's a club legend. Let's be getting people with proven experience and success at their job are placed on the Manchester United board, and let's prioritise football over banking, and maybe we'll be where we want to be. Now, guys, smash the like on the video if you want Ten Hag as the next Manchester United manager. Do subscribe down below if you're new. If you do, I just want to throw this out, guys. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football. We're 25 subscribers away from 31.2k, so please do smash that subscribe button if you have not already. I go live every single evening on the Alice Talks Football channel, so please do subscribe. The minute we know who the next Manchester United manager is officially, I'll be live. The minute we know it's Ten Hag officially, I'll be live to update you guys. The minute we know it's Poch officially, I'll be live to update you guys. So for all the latest on the manager situation, transfers, match previews, watch longs, match reactions, I do all of that on the channel, daily United content. So if you're watching right now and you're new, please do subscribe. And if you don't want to subscribe, at least just hit that freaking like button. Let's go for 250 likes. Sachin said, would I take Dybala? I do like Dybala. He's a good player, but personally, I wouldn't take him. I think for a rebuild, I think we need players that aren't on ridiculous wages, players that are younger, and players that would fit Ten Hag's profile. I think Dybala probably wouldn't get in over Bruno Fernandes, and I don't think he's an out-and-out right winger. So personally, I do like Dybala, but I don't think he would be the best option for Manchester United and all of that. It's so stupid that players get a say now. If Poch comes in with United, I'm done. This is the reason I don't actually dislike Poch as much as it may seem. It's just that I like Ten Hag so much that when Ten Hag's available and we could get Ten Hag right now, I don't know why we're waiting for Poch. But the thing that puts me off getting Poch is that the players want Poch. The fact that there's players at Manchester United that have said, that they would rather have Poch than Ten Hag makes me want Ten Hag even more, because we are constantly giving players what they want. Ollie was too nice to these players. We're rewarding these players for failure. Some of these players have been really, really bad, and we reward them with a new contract. Some of these players have not been good enough for Manchester United, they're leaking stuff. These players at Manchester United, a lot of them are toxic and foul, leaking stuff. They've not been good enough. There's a lot of players at Manchester United that aren't even good enough to be here, that have been leaking stories. Yeah, a lot of them that have been leaking stories, yet they think they can have a say on who our next manager is. If Manchester United had just won the treble 2 seasons in a row, I'd say, cool, maybe we'll do what the players want. But the players should have no say in who the next manager is. The players should have no say whatsoever on who the next Manchester United manager is, because they literally do not deserve a say, because they've underperformed so badly, and a lot of them should not be at this club. So why should they say who the next manager is if they're not good enough to be at this club? That, again, is how I feel about the situation as well. Poch also plays good football and develops players well, but the difference is Erik ten Hag is a winner and has way more potential, and Andrew is spot on with that. And Ollie got the best out of them. Did Ollie get the best out of them? Because I think most of our players declined under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. And Poch is half decent. Yeah, Poch is. I don't think Poch is a bad manager, but when Ten Hag's available, yeah. Sachin's asked me if I've seen what Louis van Gaal said, and yeah, I did. I addressed it at the beginning. Louis van Gaal came out and said that Erik ten Hag should not join. Louis van Gaal came out and said Erik ten Hag should join a football club, not a commercial club. And Van Gaal said that United's a commercial club, and we're not right for Ten Hag. And unfortunately, I want Van Gaal to shut up, but Van Gaal is absolutely right. Fabrizio Romano went on the United stand and said some really good stuff regarding Manchester United today, and transfer news and rumours and all of that. And one thing that Fabrizio Romano did say on the United stand today is that the market will be affected by Manchester United's decision on an ex-manager and timing. It is important that United decides as soon as possible. And Romano also said the answer from Manchester United is that it will take some weeks to decide who the next manager is, and everything will be set and announced in a couple of weeks. So Fabrizio Romano has laid in some positives and some negatives. Romano has confirmed that Ten Hag is interested in the United job. United are interested in Ten Hag. Romano has confirmed it is between Ten Hag and Pochettino for the Manchester United job. However, a decision, United might take a couple of weeks to make that decision. But Romano is saying, United need to hurry up and make that decision, because it's going to affect us in the market. It's going to affect the value and all of that. And, Ten Hag's absolutely right. But this is an interesting story, and this is the story I want to address. And this is the real positive of today. And the Manchester Evening News and Samuel Luckhurst, they do get inside information from Manchester United. And Samuel Luckhurst, who gets a lot of information from inside Manchester United, said that he would be very surprised if Ten Hag wasn't the next Manchester United coach. And he says he's aware that the Dutchman is still the club's favourite choice. Now, the fact that the club is delaying stuff, the fact that Poch might have had an interview, however, Fabrizio Romano is not aware of a Poch interview, which is another positive. It's Spanish source saying Poch had an interview. The fact that Samuel Luckhurst in the Manchester Evening News, who get inside information, said that they think it will be Ten Hag and he is still the favourite choice, does fill me with some positivity. It does fill me with some positivity that source who said that Ten Hag's still the favourite, and he'd be surprised if it wasn't Ten Hag. Because I go, well, that is the good thing. That is the good thing about today. That is the only good thing about today, because, United still haven't chosen a manager. They still delayed it, but Ten Hag is still the favourite from a reliable source. And if you want Ten Hag, smash that like button. And look, my heart says United are going to get Ten Hag. My heart absolutely says that United are going to get Ten Hag. A lot of reliable journalists said Ten Hag's the favourite. Ten Hag is easier to get than Poch. Ajax will let Ten Hag go. Ten Hag wants the job. Ten Hag's younger. Ten Hag has a vision for the youth. Like, my heart says, the fans want Ten Hag. Rangnick wants Ten Hag. The footballing people want Ten Hag. My heart says United are going to go out there and get Ten Hag. That's what my heart says. That, you know, most of the people at United want Ten Hag. 80% of the board want Ten Hag. The fans want Ten Hag. He's available. We can get him. He's going to be easy to get. We've got a good relationship with Ajax. Ajax will let him go. Like, the fact that, you know, Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News, a decent journalist, has said that he'd be surprised if Ten Hag wasn't the next Man United manager, and that Ten Hag is the favourite and Ten Hag's a popular choice. You know, so my heart says United are going to get Ten Hag, but my head says, the logic in my head says, but this is United. I can't trust this board to make the right decision. And the fact that they're delaying this decision, and they keep delaying this decision, and the fact this decision is getting delayed and delayed and delayed, my head says to me, it's because they're waiting for Poch. It's because they're waiting for Poch. Honest Tiger, thank you very much for the super chat. Says that Poch has won nothing. Would City want him? No. And you're absolutely right. I don't have a big issue with Poch, but if Ten Hag is available, why go for Poch when Ten Hag's done a lot more than Poch in his career? They say Poch has experience. Yes, Poch has Premier League experience, but what has Poch realistically won? Obviously, you know, what has he realistically won? The French league is just pips. Honestly. Big up for the super chat. Guys, if you agree with me that Ten Hag should be the next Manchester United manager, smash that like button. We've got 250 people watching. Can we get 250 likes? I'm really intrigued to see how many of the people watching would choose Poch over Ten Hag. So if Poch would be your choice, make sure you smash the like on the video as well. And, you know, Poch also has a strange attitude towards winning cups, and his record against the top six in his PL tenure is awful. And Andrew Spawn, Poch does not have a good record against big clubs, and Poch, you know, doesn't really win many trophies in clubs. And no disrespect to Poch, but I personally myself would much rather have ERIK Ten Hag at Manchester United as well. Now, guys, I've got a couple other stories to talk about. I've got a couple other things that I do want to get into. So, I want to talk about Luis Enrique. And before, there's a lot of indications that Luis Enrique could actually get the Manchester United job. It's been Poch this, it's been Ten Hag this, but there is indications that it actually could be a shock, and it could be Luis Enrique. Now, my feeling on the Luis Enrique links is that maybe if Luis Enrique was available, we would go for Luis Enrique. But my general feeling on the Luis Enrique links is that he is a distraction. The fact that United haven't chosen their next manager and there's been a 3-week break, you know, fans are putting pressure on United to choose their next manager. You know, Ten Hag's had his interview a week ago. There's a lot of pressure on Man United to get Ten Hag and to get the next manager in. And I think this whole Enrique links that have come out today, I think is a fuel distraction. I think because Enrique, we can't get him to winter, we're not going to get Enrique. I think that it's just a full distraction to distract fans from the fact that United still haven't won for Ten Hag. But Mike Keegan of the Daily Mail said that Luis Enrique is actually a strong contender for the Manchester United job and has many admirers at Manchester United, although World Cup logistics won't help his position. Mike Keegan of the Daily Mail also said that Luis Enrique is currently being underplayed and he's a seriously well-liked within Manchester United. And apparently he's saying that, you know, Luis Enrique to Man United is a lot more likely than we think as next manager. And he also said that Luis Enrique is attractive from a financial perspective, with United not having to pay top dollar to get him away from the national team as well. And the Mirror have said that Manchester United is set to speak to Luis Enrique this week about the prospect of him becoming the next Manchester United manager. And the Mirror also said that Manchester United are not prepared to sabotage another campaign by waiting until January. So the idea of splitting time between Spain and United for the first half of the season was a non-starter. They plan to honour the process. So, long story short, United apparently are going in for talks with Luis Enrique. It's not all Poch, it's not all Ten Hag. We're going in for talks for Luis Enrique. And the idea would be we get Enrique in, but for the first half of the season, he would split between Spain and United, and he'd have to do 2 jobs between Spain and United. Then after the World Cup, he'd fully go to United. Financially, Luis Enrique is easy to get. However, I personally do not believe that Manchester United are going for Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique, a couple months ago, when it was like the interim role, when we gave it to Rangnick, Luis Enrique was also asked if he would become Manchester United manager a couple months ago, and he said never. What a load of rubbish. He literally said, what a load of rubbish. He's at Spain, he wants to be at Spain, he wants to do the World Cup. I don't think that United will go for Luis Enrique. I think they like Luis Enrique, but I think, would he be willing to do United and Spain together? I don't know. And also, I think, you know, if Enrique wasn't tied up with the Spain national team, as Andrew said, it would be an interesting decision. But I think the fact that Luis Enrique is at Spain, it could happen. Luis Enrique to United could happen. And they're saying that it's more likely than we think. But I just think Luis Enrique has been put in there as a distraction. I think United are exploring the possibility of Luis Enrique. United probably want to talk to Luis Enrique and actually see if he'd be willing to do the United job as well as the Spain job at the same time. I think United, of course, will inquire about Luis Enrique and see if he's available. And I think that's all it is. But I just think all this Enrique news coming out is just a delay tactic to delay us from the fact that we've not gone and got Ten Hag yet. Real Madrid got Locatelli right before the World Cup. I personally don't want the Sevilla manager. I mean, he just got knocked out by West Ham in the Europa League. Personally not. Everybody loves Ten Hag. Why? Because he's done an amazing job at Ajax. Smash a like if you want Ten Hag. Man, you can buy PK in the summer. I don't think he's the right profile centre-back for us. I think when you need a rebuild, we need players that are about to hit their prime rather than players that are past their prime, if you want my honest opinion as well. And Harry Maguire should not be in Man United. Harry Maguire should be dropped. I hope Harry Maguire does not start versus Leicester because he was god awful last time versus Leicester. And Iheanacho and Vardy caused Maguire problems with their pace. I hope Maguire does get dropped. Maguire cost us the Champions League. Maguire's cost us a lot of games this season. Maguire has been very, very poor, and he is not a captain, all of that. Any United player who votes for Poch right now should assess themselves and their performance and not judge them. Well, I don't know specifically what Man United players want Poch. I've put Maguire in the thumbnail purely because he's captain. I don't know exactly what United players it is that wants Poch, but the overriding feeling in the dressing room is that the majority of Man United players would rather have Poch than Ten Hag, if you want my honest opinion. And look, I just think the players do not deserve. I think the Man United players do not deserve a say in who the next manager is. I think these United players have underperformed so much this season. These United players have been real poor this season. That for me, they don't even deserve a say in who our next manager is. Like they haven't done enough. I think if our players are really thinking they can go around and say, you know, board, fuck Ten Hag, we want Poch. The board shouldn't listen to the players. If the board listened to the players and get Poch, that's a joke. Because, okay, maybe if these players had won 10 Premier Leagues in a row, maybe if these players had won the treble and they were brilliant, but when half the players at Manchester United should not be here, when half the players at Man United are not good enough to be here, when there's attitude problems, when there's dressing room leaks, when there's big issues at Manchester United, the last people that should be deciding that manager is the squad, when there's big issues within the squad and half the players shouldn't even be at United. And I think, you know, we need to exactly ignore them. Honestly, we couldn't sell Harry for a pack of quavers, says Jay, and give Ted and Mengi a chance. I mean, look, the one thing I like about Erik ten Hag is, and to be fair to Poch does do this as well, but Erik ten Hag, he's done it, I think, with the Ajax. What Erik ten Hag's done with the Ajax Youth Academy, De Jong, Donny, who we've ruined, De Ligt, you know, what Erik ten Hag's done with the youth at Ajax is incredible. But, you know, Poch, to be props to him, he's done good with the youth. But going back to my point, I think that, you know, Ted and Mengi might be far off getting a chance. See how he does. But I think Hannibal Mejbri and James Garner are two midfielders I think Ten Hag would give a chance to. Hannibal Mejbri is very technical and he's very Ten Hag-esque for me. And actually, James Garner is very Ten Hag-esque for me because Ten Hag actually plays sort of a 4-2-3-1. And he plays the same formation as Ollie. However, the fullbacks get so high up the pitch that one of the CDMs drops back and becomes a third centre-back on the attack, whereas the other CDM more becomes an 8. And, you know, that would be James Garner not playing as a sole 6, but playing as a defensive CDM, and you'd have an attacking CDM. And I actually think, you know, if Ten Hag came in, it would be a very big opportunity for Ten Hag and Hannibal Mejbri. I think with midfield being the Manchester United weak point, with Matic and Pogba going, we're going to lose two midfielders in Matic and Pogba. Midfield is already the weak point. You know, Donny will come back and probably play under Ten Hag if we get Ten Hag. We will probably bring in a midfielder. So Donny would be the Pogba replacement, I guess, and we'd have a Matic replacement. But we'd still be very, very thin on midfielders because, you know, we still need more midfielders than what we've got. And I think that would open up a big opportunity for Hannibal Mejbri, a big opportunity for James Garner. And I do believe they would both get a chance under Ten Hag. Mejbri being technical, he could be more of that 8 role, given a chance under Ten Hag. But I think James Garner, with how impressive he's been at Nottingham Forest and how Ten Hag likes to use the youth, how we're very, very weak in the position that James Garner plays in, and that he would suit Ten Hag's system because if you watch the Nottingham Forest game, James Garner was brilliant against Arsenal. He was brilliant against Leicester, and he looked fine against Liverpool. He didn't look out of place against Liverpool, and he did a through ball against Liverpool, which almost was an assist. And, you know, James Garner is very good going forward, and he has a lot of assists. Like, James Garner's got a very good set-piece delivery. He's very good at creating chances, and he's very sound defensively. And technically, James Garner would definitely suit Ten Hag's style more than maybe McTominay. I think James Garner is actually more technically gifted, and the same with Hannibal Mejbri. And I do think under Poch, I think he would give the youth a chance. But when I look at Ten Hag and youth players that would get a chance under Ten Hag, I think James Garner, Mejbri. I think the fact that Garnacho's even been called up for the Argentinian international team says to me that Garnacho could even get a chance because he's been absolutely balling in the academy. You know, right winger is needed because of Rashford's poor form. You know, the lack of strikers. Maybe Charlie McNeil could get a chance. But I think Mejbri and James Garner will be the most exciting youth players currently at Manchester United as well. As Andrew said, centre-backs rarely get a chance young in the Premier League. I can't see Ted and Mengi really getting a chance, but I think a couple of other youth players should. Big up Alice, we should get Nunes, good player. I'd rather go for Nunes than Harry Kane, even though Harry Kane's better, even though Harry Kane's Premier League proven, because I think when you need a rebuild, you need players that are young and will be taking a step up in their career. I think rebuild, you should be going 26 and younger. Unless it's like that one really, really good established player that's gonna, go right in your team and give it that boost. I think for rebuild, it's 26 and younger. You have 3 or 4 older players as a core, and then you go 26 and younger for rebuild. I think for me, if Joshua Kimmich was available, cool. I'd buy him and make him the core of our squad. But I think for me, I would be looking at Jules Koundé for centre back, young centre back. I'd be looking at Tariq Lamptey for right back, good young right back. Tchouaméni, 22 for CDM. A third of the price of Declan Rice. I'd be looking at him. I'd be looking at Elise from Crystal Palace. I'd be looking at Anthony from Ajax. I'd be looking at Nunes. I'd be looking at those potentially young players that I think could take Manchester United forward rather than spending 100 million on 29-year-old Harry Kane. Because the way I feel about it is I don't want to see 2 100 million pound signings. I'd rather see 4 50 million pound signings. I want to see Man United doing signings in the region of about 30 to 60 million pounds and doing 3 or 4 of them, rather than going, yeah, we're going to spend 100 million on Declan Rice. Yeah, we're going to spend 100 million on Harry Kane, because we've seen with big signings, a lot of them don't work out. And if you actually, and I talked about this in another video, but if you actually look at all the biggest signings in football, all the biggest signings in football, a lot of them are flops. Griezmann, Coutinho, and Ousmane Dembele, all massive transfer fees, all never reached their potential at Barcelona. Eden Hazard, massive transfer fee, crap at Real Madrid. João Felix, massive transfer fee, hasn't reached his potential. Paul Pogba, massive transfer fee, hasn't been that guy. Lukaku, massive transfer fee, hasn't been that guy. Neymar, massive transfer fee, has been good, but still hasn't been that guy. A lot of the highest, Jack Grealish, 100 million, has just not been that guy. A lot of the most expensive transfers don't work out. For me, the most successful big transfers are 50, 60 million transfers, where it's a hefty fee, but it's not a massive fee. I feel like that's the thing that we should go. Van der Beek needed back in midfield. And I'll tell you one player that will be definitely wanting to know the next manager. Erik ten Hag will use Donny van der Beek. And Donny van der Beek can't decide his future until he knows if it's Ten Hag or not. And so Donny's probably sitting there going, what the fuck do I do next season? Because if Ten Hag's here, I want to stay. But if Ten Hag's not here, I want to go. And, there's a lot of players like, Tchouaméni likes United. Tchouaméni's liking United post on Twitter. Tchouaméni wants a Premier League move. It'll be United and Chelsea would probably be interested in him. But he might go, well, I don't know who the next Man United manager is going to be. I don't want to go there. But if United get Ten Hag and sell this really exciting rebuild process to Tchouaméni, boom, 50 million Tchouaméni. Yeah, fuck off, Rice, 150 million. We've got a player just as good for 50 million. Bish, bash, bosh. That's how I feel as well. Ten Hag need other coaches. Ten Hag better. Says someone in the chat. I believe that we can't just appoint Ten Hag. Man United can appoint Ten Hag, but it's not going to fix the problem. I want to say this now. For me, it doesn't matter that much who the next manager is. If the board continue acting the way they do and they don't change the coaches, they don't modernise the structure of the board, they don't let footballing people have a say, Ten Hag will fail. Poch will fail, Ten Hag will fail. Anyone we appoint will fail if the board continue the way they do. If the club continues to run the way they do. Not only do we need Ten Hag, but we need Ten Hag's coaches. We need to modernise the structure of football. We need to let football people have a say, and we need to employ people on footballing experience, not because they're a club legend or not because they're a banker. And then Ten Hag could be successful. Alice, do you regret selling Angel Gomez? Well, I always wanted Angel Gomez to get a chance. I remember when Lingard and this was before we signed Bruno Fernandes, and Lingard and Pereira were god awful. I used to say, why aren't we giving Angel Gomez a chance? Why aren't we giving Angel Gomez a chance? It used to absolutely frustrate me. I think he's a good player. However, at the end of the day, I have no issue with selling Angel Gomez. I liked him. I think we should have loaned him. I think we should have given him some opportunities. I don't regret selling Angel Gomez, but maybe in a few years we will. But I never wanted to sell Angel Gomez, but I was happy that he left and got a game time, to be fair. And Andrew says, every manager is a risk with the way our club is run, but let's bring the best available option. I do agree. Diego says, please subscribe to Alice Talks Football. Yes, guys, I am 8 subscribers away from 31.2k. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, it'd be really appreciated if you do go and hit that subscribe button. I do daily Manchester United content on the channel. I actually go live every single evening, keeping you up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. Obviously, we're back playing Leicester on Saturday, so there will be a watch along for Manchester United versus Leicester on Saturday as well. So make sure you're subscribed for that. I do match previews and match reactions to every Manchester United game. I do watch alongs to every Manchester United game, but I also go live every single evening, talking about transfer news, gossip, ins, outs, rumours, and all of that. So if you want to hear all the latest on Ten Hag Pochettino, do subscribe. The minute we officially know who our next managers will be, I'll be live. The minute like Fabrizio Romano goes, Ten Hag, here we go, I'll be live. The minute we know for sure who our next manager is, I will be live to update you guys as well. Right now it's POCH, Ten Hag, 50-50 rumours. Well, when I know it's officially Ten Hag, I'll be live right away as well to keep you up to date. So for instant news, make sure you do subscribe. And also, if you don't want to subscribe, at least smash that like button and show some support for the channel and all of that as well. Satcher says he disagrees with the Enrique take. Real Madrid got Locatelli right before the World Cup. Big clubs get what they want. Yeah, you make a good point. I think that United could get Luis Enrique if they wanted him, but I think that Luis Enrique is a distraction. And Alice, if we buy a striker, who's your preference? I would go for Schick. He's a beast competing with Haaland and Lewandowski in the Bundesliga. This is the thing. I can't tell you my preference for a striker because I don't know who the manager is going to be. There's players I think will be more suited to Ten Hag. There's players I think I'd be more suited to Poch. Now, I would probably say Nunes from Benfica is the most exciting. I quite liked Vlahovic, who obviously just gone to Juventus. You know, I'm not a big fan of Isaac, actually. I think he's way overpriced. I couldn't tell you who my preference for a striker was until the summer, until I know what kind of system we'd be playing and what we need, really. But there's a few good options out there as well. I wouldn't get Tammy Abraham, though. United have been linked with Tammy Abraham. And I know Tammy Abraham's been very, very good in the Serie A. I think, you know, look at Lukaku in the Serie A, look at Lukaku in the Prem. I think the Serie A makes every striker look better. I think Tammy Abraham is a striker that's a box striker that requires service, and I think we need a striker that can link up play. I personally wouldn't get Tammy Abraham, who we have been linked to, but a lot of people do want him. Fabrizio Romano said that Manchester United want to extend Luke Shaw's contract, but there's nothing going on with Rashford, which is good. I mean, I like Rashford and all of that, but when I was hearing rumours that United were going to give Rashford a new contract, I thought, what the hell? Rashford doesn't deserve a new contract. It'd be absolutely absurd. Romano said that we're not interested in giving Rashford a new contract yet. Dave said that Schick's not the man at all. We flicked in the Serie A, which is a harder league. United have been getting fleeced in wages and transfer fees for years, says Paul. Big up, Paul. You're absolutely right. United need to make sure they don't get mugged off in the transfer window, but not give ridiculous wages out. And I have a horrible feeling that Ten Hag will go City and rebuild them, and we'll get Poch. The thing is, Pep could leave City in a year, and City could go, "Oh, we want you in a year. Will you stay at Ajax for another year?" And Ten Hag will go, "Well, look at City. City going to back me. Premier League, they achieve a lot." Ten Hag waits a year at Ajax and then goes City, and we end up with Poch, and then we're behind, and then that's City above us for another 10 years again. It's nearly been 10 years since we've won a major trophy, and look, we've won a Europa League, but I mean 10 years since we won the Premier League. You know, Alice, do you think Ronaldo has been bad in Man U? No, Ronaldo's not been bad. Ronaldo is not the solution to the problem at Manchester United, but Ronaldo's not caused any problems at Manchester United. I'm actually really relieved we signed Ronaldo because, you know, obviously everything that happened with Greenwood, you know, a lot of people, because I think the only thing I didn't like about Cristiano Ronaldo coming to United was that Greenwood was our striker. And Greenwood had like 4 and 4 at the beginning of the season. He was so good at the beginning of the season. Ronaldo comes in, Ronaldo takes that striker role. Greenwood dropped off a bit. He's not the same on the right wing. And I thought, oh, you know, this was going to be Greenwood's big season. And that was the only thing I didn't like about Ronaldo. I think Martial hadn't impressed enough, although I do like Martial, but he just, you know, he wasn't impressive. Cavani's, you know, showed no commitment to United, doesn't want to be here, he's going on holiday. And obviously, because of everything that happened with Mason Greenwood, I'm now relieved that we signed Ronaldo, and I think it's a good signing because I think we'd have been fucked if we just had Cavani as our only striker and Martial, who you can't rely on. So I am glad we signed Ronaldo because I actually do think that we would need Ronaldo this season. I don't think that Cavani's done a better job. I don't think Martial's done a better job. But I agree that Ronaldo was not the solution. We needed a CDM. But I'm relieved that we signed Ronaldo. I don't think he's made us worse. I don't think he's a problem. 174 likes, as Steve says, so keep hitting that like button, guys. We're 75 likes off 250 likes. We've got over 250 people watching. So if you please smash that like button if you have not already. If everybody watching smashes the like button that hasn't hit that like button, we might be able to get 250 likes before the end of the live stream, which is insane. And of course, as I said earlier, please do subscribe if you're new. Please do subscribe if you're new, because I will be live Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night this week. And then I will be doing a watch along Saturday. So for United content, Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Bish, bash, bosh. I'm just going to get through a few comments that I've missed as well. Oh, where are we going in? I've lost it. I was meant to click on a comment, but I've absolutely lost it. You're awesome, Alice. Thank you. That's a nice comment. It's not the one thing I like about YouTube is the comments are mostly nice. You go on TikTok, fuck you, Alice. Fuck you, Alice. It's mad. James Garner will replace Pogba. He's not that kind of player. I think Mejbri would be more a Pogba replacement. Actually, I'll tell you who would be a Pogba replacement is Kobe. Kobe. I tell you this now. I'm going to share my screen. He's only 16 and he wouldn't be a replacement for at least, can't see him coming through for a couple of years, but let me share my screen now. This guy, and he's only really been talked about now. This guy is a baller in the United Academy. This guy is an absolute baller. 16-year-old Kobe Maino. He's an absolute gem. Is it Kobe? Is it Kobe? I could not tell you. This guy, honestly, it's not because he's a midfielder. It's not because he's an academy player. It's not because he's black. Generally, when I've watched him play in the academy, he reminds me of Paul Pogba. He looks good, like the technicalness, how good he is with the ball. Look, I don't want to overhype youth players at 16, and I've only seen play 3 youth games, but he looks sick. He looked absolutely sick for a box-to-box midfielder. Not much is known about him, but he's made 12 appearances in the under-18s, two goals, 1 assist. He's just looked really, really good, and he's 16 and he's playing in the under-18s, which I think is quite impressive as well, because the United under-18 side is really, really good. Talking of impressive youth players, but obviously our most impressive youth player is Garnacho. I keep talking about him. I'm fangirling over him. He's our new star boy. This guy, Garnacho, has been so good for United. Been absolutely beasting for United. 11 goals, 6 assists this season in 1,700 minutes. So that's a goal contribution every 100 minutes. Mostly a left winger, can play on the right. He's been called up to the Argentinian international team, Garnacho, because he has just been so good at United this season. So good. It's insane. Been a good stream. Thanks, Steve. Bellingham is the best United replacement. I'd love Jude Bellingham, but Dortmund will price us a lot. And why would he want to come to United? Do I watch women's football? Not as much as I'd like to. I watch it every now and then, but I should watch it more, to be fair. Most United youth players don't make it. Everyone was convinced Possibon was the next goals. How many stands out since 92? Yeah, I agree. But however, when Van Gaal came in, he completely revitalised the youth. And I think Garnacho, Hugill, Hannibal Mejbri and Garner have really good potentials, and they look really, really impressive. I want to see McNeil get some senior chances. Such a complete striker. I agree. I'd like to, why are we putting Tom Heaton and Dean Henderson on the bench when we could put Nick McNeil there, we could put Garnacho there, we could put Hannibal Mejbri there? I don't understand, Also, Amadiello and Palestri out on loan are good youth players, but we wait to see a bit more from them. Do you know what, actually, someone said this on Twitter. Someone said this on Twitter today. United are looking for a right winger. Manchester United are looking for a right winger this summer. But we've spent how much we spent on Sancho, Palestri, and Amad Diallo to be our right winger. We've spent like over £100 million on the 3 of them to be our right winger. Yeah, we still don't have a right winger. And I was just like, our board is so thick. We've brought 3 right wingers and we still need a right winger. We spent over £100 million on a right winger and we still need a right winger. I think, geez, how can this board that have been so bad at recruitment, every single manager has failed under them, believe that they can choose the next manager? When you've got Ralph Rangnick with a good CV saying he wants Ten Hag, but then when you've got the Manchester United board with a CV of 10 years of bad decisions, overpaying and failure, thinking that they can choose the next manager, I sit there and I question the Man United board and I go, so this board thinks that they can choose our next manager when they've failed for 10 years and undermine Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick wants Poch. The Manchester Evening News said that the sporting people, at United want Ten Hag. Their bankers at Man United want Poch. When the bankers have failed for 10 years, you've got to listen to the sporting people at Manchester United. That's 100% how I feel. But we're not. We're absolutely not at the moment. And I just think, I don't know, that frustrates me because I think how many right wingers we brought and we still need a right winger? How many centre-backs have we brought? We still need a centre-back. Diallo looks like he will need at least another loan. This current loan turned a bit sour on him. He started well, but it has gone a bit sour. My dream would be Anthony or Diaby. I do really like Anthony, and I think if we get Ten Hag, that it could probably work. Unfortunately, the only trophy I can see us winning is the Europa Conference League. I hate the Conference League. I'd rather finish 8th than 7th. because I don't want to be in the Conference League. I like the Europa League, don't want to be in it, but I actually like the Europa League. Conference League, it's new, it's an ugly trophy. For me, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but there's nothing appealing whatsoever about the UEFA Conference League. Nothing appealing whatsoever. I do not like the look of it at all. Is England playing tonight or not? Is England playing tonight or not? Have I been an idiot? England's tomorrow. Is Portugal tonight? Is there international football on tonight, guys? It's Portugal tonight. Portugal FC. I'm trying to think, because I went live at 6:30 because I thought there was international football. Portugal, no international football tonight. I thought there was. Unless there is, tell me down below. McNeil's too weak. I think the thing with McNeil is when you need a striker and he's a bit weak, he would almost be a winger at first. So I get what you mean. Sancho isn't a natural right winger. He's much better on the left. I agree. And Sancho's been so good on the left that he has to start on the left. Only 51 likes needed for 250 likes, guys. And I do really, really want to get 250 likes. So please do smash that like button. My all-time favourite football player. Ooh, I loved Paul Scholes as a kid. I thought he was amazing. I think Paul Scholes is the best player I feel like I've ever seen on his day in his prime. He was just a different gravy. I loved Wayne Rooney growing up. I loved Ronaldo growing up. I don't know if I have an all-time favourite player, but I'd probably say Rooney. I'd probably say Rooney just because of he was the player of my childhood because Ronaldo left in 2009. I'm born in 2000. I started supporting United probably 2003 when Rooney was here when I was about 3. And Rooney's best years from the ages of about when I started watching United to the age of about 14 for me. So I think I'll probably say Rooney is my favourite United player because of childhood and all of that. And who should place De Gea? As much as he does shot stopping, Henderson's shot stopping has been below par. Look, I like David De Gea and he's a brilliant shot stopper. And I think, if it wasn't for David De Gea, United would be mudded this season, we'd be relegated. For me, I don't think De Gea will work long term under Ten Hag because his distribution is poor. He doesn't come off his line. He's not a modern goalkeeper. However, we have so many bigger problems than David De Gea that I think is not an issue at United. He's saved off this season. He's a top goalkeeper. I think United need to work on all their outfield positions, and goalie is the last piece of the puzzle. I think, it's that CDM, it's that box-to-box, it's that centre-back, it's that right-back, it's that striker, it's that right winger. Once you've sorted all of that, then you go to goalkeeper. I just think he's the least of our problems, but I think maybe in long term, he wouldn't work under Ten Hag. Andrew said that Rooney was unbelievable. Yeah, Rooney was so unbelievable. Shyam says that Benzema is back in Real Madrid training. I love Benzema. If Benzema was younger, I'd love him at United. Showcart Khan says Eric Cantona. A lot of people that are a bit older than me say Eric Cantona is the all-time favourite United player. And Sancho has only played on the left because he has to cover for Shaw and Tellers. They are not good enough. I think Luke Shaw is good enough. I just think he's not been good enough this season. I think Tellers is just always going to be a bench player, if you want my honest opinion. And I would literally put out a total youth team if we ended up in the Conference League. Yeah. The only good thing about being in the Europa League instead of the Champions League is it is an opportunity for youth players to get a chance. And I know this sounds weird, but United have no chance of winning the Champions League. At least with the Europa League, we've got more of a chance of getting a trophy. It's just, for me, it's not about the trophy. It isn't, it's not. It's about being there. For me, even if we didn't win the Champions League, but we got to the Champions League semi-final, it's just about, getting that excitement, being there, seeing you play in the Champions League semi-final. It's just got a different feel to the Europa League final. I'm very jealous of Barcelona. They rebuilt in 4 months, or it takes us 10 years. And that's because Barcelona, at the end of the day, have a better structure in place than Man United, and that's why the Barcelona rebuild took a lot less time than our rebuild, because they already had a better structure in place. They already had better coaches. Barcelona needed a few players and a manager. They did get those few players in January and a manager, and they're on the way to a rebuild. United don't have any structure in the academy, any structure in the coaching, any structure in the board. So our rebuild is 10 times harder than Barca's, but just because of the lack of structure at this club. But guys, I am going to wrap up today's live stream here, by the way, because I have been live for almost an hour. I might be live tomorrow night. I'm not sure, because I won't be home till 6 tomorrow, and I know England is at 7:45, so I might do a live from 6:30 to 7:30 tomorrow, but I cannot make any promises. It might just be a short video tomorrow, because I know that people want to watch the England game and I don't want to go live for the England game. I will let you know if I'm live tomorrow or not. You will find out if you have post notifications on, if you are subscribed. I definitely will be live Wednesday night. I definitely will be live Thursday night. And I definitely will be live Friday night. And I'll definitely be live Saturday for the Manchester United versus Leicester watch along. Hopefully 3 points put the pressure on Arsenal. But if you haven't already, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. Everything on POCHETTINO, transfers in, transfers out, player news, player gossip. Yep, subscribe for that. Share the video if you're new. Thank you for watching. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time, guys. Bish, bash, bosh, and bye.